I would want to, and what this government will focus. You can't talk about good governance. You can't talk about democracy when the other two arms of government are moribund. For you to talk about good governance, then there must be transparency. For you to talk about good governance, then you must follow the rule of law. In essence, one, we must give support to the independence of the judiciary. In that case, you will not allow all people to follow according to the dictates of the law. Look today in this state. What is governance? When people cannot have access to administration of justice, how can you talk about good governance? Can that be good governance? So our government will feel that institutions must be allowed to operate independently in order to allow people to have benefits of true democratic dividends. Having access to justice is a democratic dividend. Again, I don't need the assembly to sit in my power. I don't need to checkmate the assembly. We have what we call separation of powers, but then checks and balances. Allow the legislature to operate, but you can checkmate as the law provides. Whatever you do, whatever they do that is not a consonance with the law, you cannot go to court. That is why there's a judiciary. So, look at it today, that if you give an opportunity, the legislature must come back. But if you give the same party the opportunity, because that mentality is already there. And that's what we don't want to have. That is, we're going to allow the autonomy of these institutions that are separate arms of government. But good governance is not only building roads. That is one. Two, can you today talk about Rivers State in terms of the resources we have had, in terms of the funds that have come to us, that you can say that Rivers State today has good network of roads. To be able for you to move to the area you want to move at any point in time. In essence, there are no good roads in the state. I've just asked you here, you're just coming. This is OGRA. Not even where the commoners, what we may now say commoners, assuming. This is OGRA. You can't even have good roads in OGRA, which is the eye of government, where visitors are coming in. When this government came, they say they're going to do link road, what is it called?
Ring road.
A ring road. The funds have made available with First Bank, $100 million. As at then, 2007, 2008. Where's the ring road today? The only two major roads in Port Harcourt, Aba Road and Ikwere Road. When these roads are blocked, that's it. Port Harcourt is locked up. So there must be a disconnect. You must have to link up. Indian people can move out of the city. When you have this type of vehicular traffic, you cannot say people are enjoying good governance. No, it's not. Now again, you talk about the education sector. You and I know it is not building two-story building that makes education. You never attended school where you had air conditioners in the classes. I never saw that. But I didn't do bad in school. Neither did you. So it is not because whether you have a condition or not. I call them artificial makeup. Now, how many of the schools today that the government have brought down and building new schools? You have not built the new schools. You have brought the old ones down. Now, giving a lot of hardship to the children and their parents, most of them now, classes are supposed to be 25, 30, they are now sitting 80. Take, you know of Omewa School, along the road, Government School, Omewa. On the right, there's no school there. Now where are those students there today? You see, you're building the new one. When you're going to Degema, if you're going to Degema, you see the bush. Now, Omewa has lost the school. Where are the children today? If we have the opportunity, we want to bring back the boarding system. Yes, we may talk about issue of security, but we'll come to that. We must do some pilot cases where and see whether this boarding system will now help and bring back that dignity of what school used to be. Students should not stay in school. At a point in time, whether the midterm break or any of the holidays, parents can come and pick their children. Now, in that case, you are bringing them to bond together. Sporting activities will be there. But because they go from house to the school, all those curricular activities are no longer there. How do you correct sport activities? How do you correct it? By coming from home? It's not possible. They must have their games. They must time they have their skills. They must time they have their timing. All these things are things that when we were in school, it formed part of your behavioral pattern. And it makes you as a serious student. So we are going to reintroduce the boarding system. And in doing that, we must also take into consideration the issue of security. Now, you see, what we are seeing here in this government is that security is based on you are supporting me. Security is not based on the fact that I'm supposed to provide security. The government abandons its support of security, believing that the security is not giving them the support of catching the political opponents. So our government will not build, the issue of security is for everybody. It is not for a group or a section of people. Whether you're supporting government or you're not supporting government, the issue of security is paramount, must be provided for people to be able to go about their normal activities. Now, but because of that lack of care, you are aware when the APC candidate was talking at the National Stadium, he said, people of Port Harcourt, I'm going to bring back the issue of security, where you can walk freely. In essence, he has agreed to the fact that this government has failed to provide the issue of security. He has already marked his organ zero. So when we come in, we are going to tackle the issue of security head on, not on political basis, but on the basis that the security must be provided for everybody, irrespective of which party you belong to, irrespective of whether you're a politician or not. And when you give them the security, the support, obviously, people will be happy, the environment, economic activity will begin to move on. Now, you talk about, is there any transport system in this state? In terms of water transport, in terms of road transport, mention one. How many of our people that have vehicles that can go on their own? How many of our people that go to the river area that even have their own personal boats? These are things that government ought to minimize by solving this part of problems, providing very good boats for people. Everything must not be on commercial basis. Government is not a good businessman, right? But government should be able to reduce the cost. If, for example, government can say, okay, we have private people who are using this, or who can run this. Say government is not a good businessman. What do we do? In a subsidized rate, if getting a good boat is, say for example, 2 million naira, an individual may not be able to provide that 2 million naira. An individual can provide 1 million naira. Government can come in and say, we're going to provide 1 million, that makes 2 million naira. The only advantage that can come is, okay, the cost of transportation will be this amount. Instead of charging the normal fare that private person would have charged. In that case, you have reduced the cost of transportation for the people and you have given them a good transport.
Sir, will you be able to replicate that in housing? Because housing situation is...
No, I'm coming. You see, one of the problems we have, we cannot take everything at the same time. When you begin to carry everything at the same time, then the sources will not be available. You must be able to identify the key things: wealth creation, employment of our youth. Now try to de-emphasize this issue of graduating. Now, my experience when I was Minister of Education, part of what we're trying to do is to bring back technical colleges. In fact, one of the things I did as I was leaving, in fact, I was called yesterday, one of the legacies I left, when I was supervising the unity colleges, I discovered that among the unity colleges, we have some technical colleges. But there's nothing technical about them. Nothing. You go there, no equipment. What did I do? I made sure that before I left, all the technical colleges, in among the unity colleges, you must take 3 courses. Either electrical, carpentry, and one other course. That is to provide the equipment, 3 workshops Because it is not possible for government to take all at the same time. Well equipped. I was called yesterday that, do you know that today that they are now equipping all these schools? Why? To bring them back to what it used to be. Look at one at Abaro there. You know this one here? What do you call it here? I went there last week. In fact, we thought we would have used that place for our primary. So that took me to it. Was I shed tears. Why has the government allowed that place to fail? And then you come back here to Port primary? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? So our own government will make sure vocational education is key. Creating skill is key. And linking them up to the relevant companies here. One of the things we try to do, or the government have forgot, is that when you're establishing this, you must also make the companies here to have a relationship with the schools. So that when as they're doing their practical, it is understanding the corporate responsibility of these companies that these children will have their practicals in their place of work. So that at the end of the when they are finishing, you can also employ them because you now know that they passed through you. You've seen their competence, you've seen their capacity. So creation of job is very, very important. I don't you talk about housing, health, these things are there. But the point I've told you here that you must take these things one after the other. So you'll be able to say, when I was there, I can talk about good road network. I can talk about good education system. I can talk about good health delivery system. I'm not going to talk about monorail. We don't need it done. It has no economic value. It is for what we call bourgeois class. I will let you that I was one who did monorail. What is the traffic flow? There's no traffic. Not. So, for me, I've told you 1, 2, 3. Because you cannot talk about good governance. The other two arms of government are not working. You cannot talk about good governance when people cannot go to work on time. You cannot talk about good governance when our children cannot have good education system. It does not. You are talking about scholarship, sustainable development. Our children are suffering overseas. Nobody pays their school fees. Why do you take them when you know that you cannot afford to pay? Why must everything be political? Let people say I sent out 500 people. No, you must do things knowing fully well that, of course, I know the government, it does not want to operate on budget. This government does not operate on budget. It has never operated on budget. That I know very well. This government has never operated on budget. It's a government that can... Look at our assets. Where is the money? They are criticizing Toye Princeway. Tell them, I said, where is the money that is sold our transmission, gas turbine? Where is the money to pay? In the next, I will tell you where that money was paid to, the bank was paid to. I will tell you how much was sold at not less than $141 million. Where did they advertise it? Who is the one that bought it? Look at the airport hotel. What is it doing there? It's there. Who took the Olympia? Who are those behind the Olympia Hotel? Who are those behind this supermarket? What do you call it? Spa. Who are those behind it? Who is selling that mall that we may have built? Who has sold it? This is not the time to what?